Good evening, everybody. Tucson's in the heart and it's in the soul, and I'm proud to be where I'm from.
I'm on my knees. Lord, I'm having such a hard time.
It definitely finds its way into my music somehow, even if I try to block it. I'd rather be like a blank being on a blank planet, and if you hear my music, you don't really know. I'm Brian Lopez. I am a singer, songwriter, songster. How about songster? 1449 West Riverview in Barrio Savaco is where I grew up. West Side Tucson.
As I recall, it was my intention to bring us both down.
Oh man, it was simple. Life is so much simpler when you're a kid. There's a lot of sports, a lot of after-school rec. Academics and sports were pretty much it for a very, very long time.
You would not keep your weight on the ground.
But back in the day, we would go to like Davis Elementary or to Ross Scrooge and just play all day long. That's just really what brought joy to our lives. I was never the most athletic dude. I wasn't dunking on people. I was just the coach's son, super fundamental. I loved getting others involved. I would always count my assists. I never really counted my points. I was a point guard. I still am a point guard. But I spent most of my time downtown, staying at my Nana's house. She raised us, you know, with the folks working so much just to keep us afloat. And you're a kid, you don't understand like how rich or poor you might be. But we felt very rich, you know, in the soul and in the heart because we had so much love, and a big part of that was the matriarch of our family, was our Nana Julian. I found a bunch of vinyl at my Nana's house that belonged to my dad and his brothers. And there was like Black Sabbath I was really into. I remember getting Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart. I just like became engulfed into that whole Beatles scene. Then I started buying guitar magazines, and my mom bought me a guitar, started doing little recordings in my house. And definitely loved like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, that whole Seattle grunge scene. When I was learning guitar, that was getting big. Those were all the songs I could find on the guitar magazines. They would have the tablature, so I could learn how to play Smells Like Teen Spirit in my house, and that kind of like changed my world. Now I could take all these songs that just seemed so amazing to me and flash forward to the future, and you start writing your own stuff.
Too young to fall asleep.
For me, I don't think I'd be anywhere today if it wasn't for my like formal training in music, you know, getting a classical guitar scholarship at the U of A and taking all the music theory courses, music history, going through that whole gauntlet. What they tell you is like sonic mastery. When you get through it finally and you start creating on your own, you realize there's no right or wrong way to do this. They wanted me to do it this way, and I almost believed it for a while. I'm glad I did it and was able to escape from it. To take a cue from Hal Gill, my biggest mentor as far as another songwriter, he says that, you know, there's always songs inside of you. Like, you have them there if you're an artist. Like, they're there. They just have to come out somehow.
It's just like in movies.
You start writing, you come up with something, a melody, or, you know, you wake up in the middle of the night with a chord progression, and you just go from there. And you don't know if it's gonna be crap or if it's gonna be the best thing you've heard in a while from yourself. You can't just sit around being inspired all the time. I don't know any artists that just are successful because they're constantly inspired. Sometimes the flow is a lot easier, you know, it just comes naturally. You are inspired, or something triggers just a flicker where you say, aha, and then you sit down at a piano.
In movies, it's placed and scripted for the big scene, but your signal, it's breaking up, and your static noise, it echoes on like our love.
He creates these incredible songs that obviously the technique and the song structure and the arrangements are very perfectly executed, but the content is coming from a very deep place.
Yes, your signal, it's breaking up.
You can write the saddest songs, you know, Pray for Rain, Static Noise, like it's really deep, heartfelt, soul-wrenching songs. This is the space we built out of necessity, Dust and Stone recording studio. I think I've probably spent more time with Brian than anyone in my life, just because, you know, we're on the road together for months on end.
Yeah, well, a lot of people think Gabe and I are like brothers.
Yeah, it's happened a lot. It's almost every time in the airport. You guys are brothers or what?
Just because we're always around together, always seemingly like on tour together, which is pretty much true because we both play in Giant Sand and XIXA. And he usually will play in my band if I'm doing a solo tour where I have a full band. And a lot of the time I'll play with his band.
I think it's a very special drive and work ethic that he has that I think is unique to his upbringing, to his childhood, and could only be his. It could only come from being raised in a Mexican-American home in Tucson.
What do we have here? Hey, Rita. I'm the spark that started the fire in a place nobody knows.
It's been nice having him as a musical counterpart for all of this, because it's somebody you can go through the whole experience with, the ups and downs of this life. I mean, it's not easy to make a living. It's not easy holding relationships. It's not easy being away for so long. It's tough to be away, but then when I come home, sometimes it's tough for me not to be out on the road, just because that is a big part of my life. I mean, just to put it into perspective, it's days on end of carrying equipment, traveling long hours, doing this, that, emails, getting lighting engineers the right flight to this city. All this crap that they don't tell you is what you're really going to be doing 99% of the time.
Killer, she's a killer.
The performance, it's the initial spark that gets you in the game, right? I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why most people are here, because you get that rush. I mean, I've never done heroin, but I don't think heroin's got anything on performing live.
Phone drip from the
You get on stage for those 50 minutes or an hour and a half, and it wipes the slate clean. It makes it worth it again, and you remember why you're in the game in the first place. Gosh, I wish writing music was just a series of writing the best song in your dream and then coming out of your dream and actually writing, you know, but it doesn't, that's not how life works, is it? If it worked that way, then every time I meet my grandmother who's passed in a dream, I could pull her out of it and then, you know, she'd still be here. But that's fortunately not how it works. So you have to visit it in your dream and do your best to grab what you had there so you can give it to everybody else. And that's my obligation as an artist.
Into the wide awake where I can feel, into the wide awake where I can see